Hi, and welcome to the Best of Homes on Homes. We're about to see a collection of the scariest basement stories ever. Being the easiest place to grab more space, basements are a common reno and the most commonly screwed up. Housing the engine for the whole house, it's where all the plumbing, electrical, and HVAC starts. So here's the best of the worst in basement renos and what we had to do to fix them. Nice. Awesome. Look at the nest. They got a nest of them. Yeah, baby. If you're going to do it right the first time.
My hero.
It's perfect. On the money.
Thank you, guys.
You like it?
Oh, do I ever?
The internet has become a great resource for finding anything you want or need. So if you want to have your basement finished, why not find a reputable contractor online? That's what Bruce and Diane thought they did. Diane.
Hi, Mike.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you
It's
again.
cold out there.
Yeah,
Bruce,
hey, Mike.
nice to see you.
See you too.
Bruce and Diane had a basement they wanted to finish and use. The idea was to design it around the entertainment system. They could enjoy the movies with the kids, and Bruce could have his buddies over to watch the ball game. Bruce was confident he'd found the contractor for the job, but went online to be reassured.
The website showed fantastic photographs of like 15 years of service.
Claims to be the best basement finisher. That's what his business is, finishing basements. However, he doesn't do the work anymore. His idea is to charge contractors across the country a monthly fee to be part of the system that when they get hired by this well-known company, supposedly, they've got business.
And I made a call, and sure enough, within 48 hours, I had a guy here.
What he's done is he's created a web base right across the country of hiring subcontractors that he doesn't know. And they said to the contractor, we want a basement like Mike Holmes does. Contractor says, don't worry, we work for him. I don't know this guy. I don't know any one of them. I have a list of guys that I use. They're not on it. This is finger joint strapping is what this is.
Uh-huh.
This is actually very dangerous to be under. I can see you're holding it up with two pieces of wood.
Yeah,
it's already come down.
the whole thing has fallen off.
It's already fallen.
If I remove this post here, you can see how the whole thing was just supported by a couple of screws up there.
Let's just take this down, okay?
I came down to talk to the guys that were mudding and taping. They were the ones that told us that this bulkhead had fallen on them. And he knew about the kids, and that's when he said to me, could you imagine if this had fallen on your kids?
This is totally unsafe. $25,000 worth of crap.
The two guys that came to mud and tape said, you know, they started looking around and said, this is the second job that they had worked with the general contractor on, and the work was shoddy. And they walked me around before my husband even came home and started saying, here's all the problems.
So they moved the steel post from here to here.
And you can actually see here, they just cut it off on the floor.
It's right at the point of the tie-in. So they
Right.
moved it over here to help pick up the load, square channel to help displace the load.
What they ended up doing is they just actually recycled the post.
You know, it scares me, the things that these contractors do. They take a steel post that has been set in concrete and its required location determined by the structural engineers. It's a new house, by the way. And what do? They cut it. I mean, they cut it. And they move it 2 feet over to where they want it. No footings, no problem. Just stand it there to support a steel beam.
I came in and I said, well, what are you doing? You know, are you not going to structurally support it anymore? And they said, oh, we jumped up and down on it. And yeah, we performed the jump test. And there was no movement whatsoever downstairs.
After checking all this out, I brought in my level and I checked the whole basement, and you are dropped 1/2 inch at this point. And that steel I-beam, when it was put in, is perfectly true. So what they did was weaken the load, and this bent this and dropped 1/2 inch. So I have two jobs now. First, I have to undo all the stupid stuff the contractor did. Second, I have to give them what they've already paid for, but still don't have: a finished basement. That's cute. Aww. The kids left me a note. You gotta love it. That's a milk bag.
Got milk?
That's how they close off the return air there. How much?
Under 10.
Under 10. Over 25,000.
What?
That's what they charge. For what? For what? That's what I said. A little bad reception in this house.
Yeah, just a screw through it.
And you know what's cute about that is that's the new cable line that runs to the TV, like it's gonna work.
the TV?
Oh, the TV doesn't work.
How were they were gonna move the steel beam? Those are the engineering drawings.
We had to put the support post back to where it was originally. You just can't move a support post without having an engineer come in and make sure the main structure of the house is supported properly. It's a cutoff, so they just cemented around it to hold it in.
Is that right?
Yeah, you'll soon loosen that. Okay. Well, we're free. Like that was holding a lot. Now she's back to normal. Imagine that, all that work just to put it back the way it was. That basement was a prime example of why you have to check out your contractor. Find out who is doing the work, get the references, and go look at the other rentals he's done. This was about a $25,000 basement that's probably gonna cost $40,000 to fix.
That wires.
We're gonna have the TV on the wall right here. If you notice, we continued our bulkhead, and a very strong bulkhead, may I say. We continued that bulkhead right across here to covering all the ductwork pipes, allow me to run wires, possibly in the future, if necessary, up through the bulkhead. I'm coming with a case of beer tomorrow. The homeowners did hire someone off the internet, and what happened? It's all wrong, it's ridiculous, and we had to come in and fix it.
Oh my gosh.
This is not our house.
Oh my gosh.
Unbelievable.
Now, I know you see what's at the end there, but we're gonna have to try and ignore that for a minute.
Oh, yeah,
okay?
right.
We'll do a little bit talking about what
Sorry,
we
are you talking to me? I trusted the guy, and and then when it all went to hell in a handbasket, you realize, I don't have any leverage anymore. He's got money, and I can't fire him now because then I've lost all that money, and that's what ultimately happened in the end. And I should have stopped it long before.
That's the biggest TV I think I've seen.
That's a 50-inch.
Holy cow.
What I'm gonna do is give you just a little bit of taste of this.
I can feel my circle of
Great.
friends growing as I stand here.
I've made this area your office. You really made it clear to me that you wanted to be able to see the kids, so I thought if they're down here playing with the TV.
Not to do with the rest of it any injustice, but I'm just trying to take in the space. It's just unreal.
For a second-story addition, you work your way up from the basement. Homeowners Alex and Marie learned this the hard way after hiring someone they knew. We're gonna have major structure fixing across the center of this house. We're gonna be raising your floor in the basement.
It's just mind-boggling how somebody could be so bad and not realize it.
Welcome back to the Best of Homes on Homes. We're featuring basement rental stories. In this next story, the basement had to be addressed as a support system for the entire house. Alex and Marie wanted a second-story addition to the back of their house. The budget was just about $100,000, a fair price for a job this size. That number ballooned to $170,000, and what should have been a 12-week project turned into a year-and-a-half nightmare.
We were very excited about this place. It was supposed to be our dream house. As the renovations went on, we were happy, but we started to have a few concerns at how long it was taking. But every time we'd call the contractor, there was always an excuse and always an explanation.
Beautiful day.
When we finally moved in, we frankly couldn't unpack because there wasn't a single room in the house that was finished where we can actually put our furniture into.
And we do feel trapped, like we can't do anything.
I see we have an addition.
Yes.
A friend of the family is a contractor. He's done work within the family. So I guess he's a trusted person by the family. So we're seeing that the kitchen is slightly finished. This cabinet is right on level, very high on the right-hand side. Wow. Based on what I saw in the kitchen, I went downstairs right away and I looked at the structure. Well, you can see the dip on this beam, and that is heavy. And this is where it humps. Well, this will show you why, because it's just pushed right up at this point. Most older homes sag right in the middle of the house. This contractor should have jacked up the support beam to true up the floor before any of the finishing was done. But that turned out to be only the beginning of the problem in the basement. Well, the plumbing looks like a spaghetti factory. Right from the beginning, I see that this line is lower here. The idea is this should be up higher to raise the water down that way. I put my money in. If I cut this pipe right now, we're gonna find a whole bunch of things we don't want to see in there. One issue, two issue immediately. The floor has been compromised by cutting this out and running the new plumbing line. I see over there, and I only want to go over there. But let's take a look. This is not how we put a door in. We do not bring it up to the floor joist. We actually bring it down to the base. This should have been filled with concrete or some sort of concrete curb. Is this supposed to be temporary?
No, this is
No,
going to
it was
be the
supposed to-
basement door.
It's supposed to be there. Okay. I took a look outside, and there was a big hole where the basement steps were supposed to be. These should have been done when they did the foundation. Besides all the issues upstairs, the basement was quite a mess. The first thing we had to tackle was the plumbing. Once that was done, we could move on to the structure. You do what you have to do with this plumbing, and we're gonna raise this floor.
All new plumbing in the basement, right up through the kitchen, all new plumbing in the kitchen, all new plumbing in the bathrooms. It has to be done. If I was an inspector, I would not pass that. It doesn't pass. That's all raw sewage. See the water flowing already? It's all flowing down this way. I'm just very upset at this guy right now. Good. Okay, let's go, guys. Get the gravel in. Let's go.
Got two guys shoveling, two guys moving, three guys downstairs pulling. We put it in the buckets, slide it down. Assembly line, we'll have that stone moved in probably 20 minutes.
I never want to see rock skin in my life.
Now that's what I call a footing. This was a temporary support to get the beam in so we could do the footing. This is now gonna carry the load. I've already made it tight, which made this one nice and loose. So now I'll pull that one. Gotta go up more. Okay, Mike, your turn. That's it. We have leveled it. Now, who said this was gonna be easy? We gotta bring in a police officer to block off the street and control traffic, turn this truck around. This is no small job. The basement work was almost done, but we still had to deal with the exterior door and the non-existent stairs outside. Johnny.
Morning, Mike. How are you?
Nice to see you again.
You too.
Look at this. This is just a little depressing.
I can imagine.
I don't know why they didn't form the stairs in the first place. There's no type S. You can tell they just sprayed the liquid foundation coating over it.
What we have to do is get right down to floor level on the inside so that we can reset all this weeping tile and bring it all over to here. Gravel on it, patch the wall, drainage board, backfill. Yeah, no paraching. It's so not necessary these days, you know. The industry has really stepped up with product development. People want to use the basements. It's part of the house these days.
This job was only in a small part fixing stuff the contractor did wrong. Mostly, it was a lot of things the contractor failed to do. The worst part is that Marie and Alex had to live through that whole nightmare. But finally, it was all done and they could move back home. I actually chose to start in the backyard for a very valid reason. From the outside, we had to dig up the whole foundation, completely do a proper waterproofing. And Joe Umbrello, a wonderful man, he came in and he did the concrete here and also inside. We rose this whole floor 4 inches higher than the existing pad over there. We had to pour 3 new footings, one in this place, this location, that location. We had to go down 2 feet in the ground at this point. Because you remember how bad this was,
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
you?
that was just all.
We had 4 different levels of flooring in this basement.
You have a proper floor drain. You have 100% new plumbing. You must check out your contractor. You must. You must make sure they're licensed, insured, and know what they're doing and have been in the business for years. You must make sure you follow through with everything that's supposed to be done.
Seeing people actually enjoy what they're doing and what they did in a month. I feel sorry that the team had to do so much work for the faults of one man.
Wow. Unbelievable. So we know that getting several quotes from a variety of contractors is the first step toward a successful renovation. But taking the lowest bidder, that is not the next step. But if you need proof, I'll show you what a bargain basement renovation looks like.
We just knew from what we saw on the outside that looked absolutely horrible that what was going to be underneath was probably going to be worse.
You see it wrong in front of you, it's definitely wrong underneath it. Welcome back to the Best of Homes on Homes. We're featuring basement renovations which too often become wrecked because too many people think it's the place to spend less. No renovation should be done on the cheap. It's dangerous. Tom and Rebecca had a baby on the way, and they wanted to get the basement finished so there'd be more room when their child arrived. They got about 5 to 6 quotes and settled on a contractor that put everything in writing. He also gave them a 1-year guarantee. The cost was about $15,000. Bargain, right? Wrong. Everything I saw in that basement was done wrong.
This contractor we ended up choosing stood out for us because he seemed quite professional. He put it in writing.
His quote was very detailed, and he gave us a guarantee.
And he returned our calls, and he seemed to have no problem answering questions. So he really seemed to stand out as the most professional.
I understand it, but they've got to check them out. If they don't check them out, they're just pulling at straws. That's a fine door installed over there.
Half of the doors here are used, and you can notice here that the doorknobs are actually bent in. So
And these are the ones we upgraded to pay for.
Well, it swings in.
It swings both ways, actually.
With the price being so low, it doesn't surprise me to see used doors, used door handles, and totally installed incorrectly. They're never gonna work, they're gonna fall off, they're jams. But they're paying for a new basement with used products. I let the door go and it moves on its own. That means the door's hung on level. Visually, I'm used to going into seeing jobs that are not that bad. This one here, right from the beginning, I can tell that we're taking it all down and doing it again.
Very nice.
So we see someone in here that's been in the business for years, but no new common sense. I love my axe. No new techniques. Whole lot of hiding things, though. Once the basement was gutted, we had a clean slate and we could finish it any way we wanted. Just because the plumbing was in one area doesn't mean we can't move it somewhere else. The trick is to think outside of the box. We now incorporate all this open concept as the room and the bathroom's at the end. We only have to come through the floor here, bring all our plumbing at the end back here. Right?
Okay, so you want the toilet over here.
Well, you have 2 choices. You come off this wall with the toilet, or you come off this wall with the toilet. Surprise me, either way.
All right. No toilet at all. They're not getting a toilet. Surprise!
The idea behind this is to show the best possible way of insulating a basement. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay 1-inch foam, not styrofoam, but foam, on the floor. We are going to caulk every joint, we're going to tuck tape every joint, we're going to leave a 1/4-inch expansion around the room, and then we are going to spray foam that expansion. When we spray foam that expansion, we're going to put up our wall, which is 2-inch foam. It is lap joints, so they overlap each other. So the whole idea is that the whole outside wall and the floor will have foam on it. So it stops anything to do with moisture buildup. We'll put the 300 dabs on the wall. Stick up our piece, make sure we have that little bit in the corner. Later, we'll spray foam it. Okay. We definitely want to spray foam this area now, because we're going to come right up to the floor joists. Just to give you an example of how we get moisture in our walls, based on a theory of using a batt insulation with a 6 mil vapor barrier, if you have one pinhole in that plastic, that pinhole can fill a cup of water in a season. If you're gonna make it airtight, you better make it airtight. Now we're going to use a house wrap tape on every single joint, including the inside corners. Even though we have a spray sealant, even though we have caulking, it's a double protection. We must think about, like the outside of our foundation wall, a single layer of foundation coating is not enough. A secondary membrane is always better. We're going to put down 5/8 tongue and groove plywood, and we're gonna tap on it to the floor. We have a thermal break on the floor, which really helps insulation, okay? So in other words, it'll stop the cool from coming through. It's probably a third more in insulation cost, but when you look at the long run and what you get out of it, you're gonna get your money back plus in the next 10 years. Don't think about money. Think about spending money the right way. Drywall is honestly paperless. It's a different type of product on the outside and on the inside. And because there's nothing in this type of drywall that mold will feed off of, this is why we want to use it, especially in a basement. We should always think ahead. How many times do I go into a basement, we have mold galore? Because mold will feed off of paper, any live product.
Thank you.
Don't skimp on basements. Hire the contractor you know can do a good job because you've seen his other work. Pay the money that it takes to get the renovation you deserve.
Oh my God. I'm stunned.
Wow, this is great.
So we're no longer cramped in this area with 4 doors.
This is
This
amazing.
is what opens it up, and it's the way it should be when you come down the stairs.
This looks great. Oh.
What's behind door number 1?
My God.
Wow. Oh, this looks amazing.
This is
is your
gorgeous.
office. Looks pretty good.
This actually looks so much bigger than it did before.
Yeah, this looks huge.
Just yeah.
Everything here was wrong. And the worst part was, it was right in front of your eyes on the finishing. It was that bad. Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited about it.
After you.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Wow. Oh, this is awesome.
Wow.
This is awesome.
This is the nicest bathroom in our house. If the other guy's job had looked a quarter as nice of this, I would have been happy. This is amazing. Just amazing.
We were expecting something great, and it was
This-
even better than we could have thought. Really.
I can't even believe it. I've never seen a basement like this. It's perfect. It's just, you look around, everything is perfection.
Thank you very much.
No,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you so much.
My absolute
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Oh, I think. Well, yeah. Okay.
Okay, that's it.
Thanks very much.
Ihor and Chris bought a house with a finished basement, or so it seemed at first glance. The problem was, whoever did the work in the basement didn't have a clue on how to do it properly. In one room, we have plumbing problems, which led to electrical problems. 18 junction points in electrical. All the plumbing's wrong. And we just started.
Basements are scary places.
Welcome back to the Best of Homes on Homes, the basement episode. Basements are a great way to have extra space in the house. TV room, bathroom, office, guest room. Good contractors make the best use of space when they renovate. Bad contractors, well, they usually just do about everything wrong and make more work for the rest of us. I've seen a lot of really bad basement jobs over the past 30 years, but this story is hands down still the worst I've ever seen. It's something I always say to people. If you're gonna buy a home, I don't care if it's brand new, used, get a home inspector. Have it inspected. Make sure that there's no problems with the home. Chris and Ihor did just that.
The house looked good inspector. Didn't see anything out of the ordinary.
We thought, wow, the guy really, you know, this is a great house. Nothing was really wrong with it, right?
Okay, we've had some people in your house playing around. In the furnace room, right in the ceiling, there were 7 junction boxes. In the closet, there was a light wired with a lamp cord. Whoever did the drywall didn't even tape the seams. You know, if the inspector had done his job, he would have spotted these problems because it was right in front of his eyes. No tape in the corners, okay? We see that, it's right there, there's no tape. Somebody threw up the drywall over top, plastered the hell out of it, painted it, and called it a finished basement. My next thought is, what's behind the walls? What other shortcuts have been taken? How's the wiring, the plumbing? I knew right then, that's when we were taking this basement apart piece by piece. I got a bad feeling we're gonna get this whole basement. We found plumbing in the wall that I'm surprised there was no screws put through. Even the telephone line had a nail through it. Lovely day.
You want to tell me the bad news now? Are we going all the way with this?
Yeah. We're gonna have to get rid of the TV, the couch, all the stuff, get it out of here. We got the whole thing. Homes like this are a perfect way for my crew to learn. They see what is wrong, but they also see how to do it right. It's great because it gave me the chance to let Damon design his very first basement. And in 1 hour, I want you to design this basement on paper for me.
You're kidding me.
Nope. Bathroom.
Yeah?
Total. Laundry room. Rec room. Usable space. Show me what you can do.
Done.
This is a very nerve-wracking thing to do. For him to actually let me do this was very nerve-wracking to begin with, and I just hope he likes it.
Giving him the opportunity to design this himself helps me teach him on how to think ahead. That's the whole point in this business, is I have to think 10 steps ahead.
I'm out of here, boys. Good luck.
59 minutes. It's helping him understand how I see things. And it really, in the long run, it teaches him. 58 minutes.
Now, this was a little bit tough because of where the stair layout is according to these pillars, so I had to really sort of think about this.
Okay, we have 2 pillars.
Right.
I don't want the pillars to stand out, so we should incorporate them into a wall space. I agree with your closet.
Right.
No access on this side, strictly here. So what you're trying to do is create open concept,
Exactly.
right? So why not put the bathroom over here?
Okay.
If that wall goes across here,
Yeah.
and our laundry room is there, and our bathroom is here, we're away from the panel. We feed 2 purposes, bathroom, laundry room, so drainage comes right in across here and ties in. So I need you to redraw this. I want you to bring the wall across here and hiding this column within the wall, bringing it down, give me a door to the furnace room and the laundry room.
Just big open space right in here.
You got it, man.
Nice.
We dug up the old clay tiles that were underneath the concrete floor because they were clogged with tree roots. All right, I'm coming. And believe me, the last thing you want to do is finish the basement and then fix the plumbing underneath. That basement was a ton of work. New electrical, new plumbing, and of course, properly taped drywall. The home inspector should have seen the signs. And if he had, Chris and Eeyore would not have bought this house thinking they had a finished basement. We know we need and want a home inspection on all the homes we buy because we're looking for a professional opinion to state, is the home good enough to buy? Is there any problems with it? The whole point to it or idea is that you have something to negotiate with for buying power.
Is this the same basement?
No.
No, my goodness.
This is incredible.
This is the bathroom.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, this was your bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to me, we totally changed the design. We did over $100,000 worth of work. That could have been negotiating power to the homeowner.
Wonderful.
Put it in the tub, awesome.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Great. Very nice.
Very nice.
Now I don't think you're gonna smell anything like bad fumes or anything like that. And you know what? It actually drains.
Yay.
We've given you everything we could give you that we should give you if it was my home, without taking it down and building a new one.
Incredible.
We're never moving.
No.
Unless Mike starts building homes.
Yeah, and then we'll buy one of those.
Then we'll buy one of his.
Your home should always be the one place you feel safe and on solid ground. So you can imagine how shaky Allison and Jim felt when I told them the foundation of their century home had been seriously compromised. Because he dug this trench, this earth can fall in, your foundation walls can come in, and your house can come down. Welcome back to the best of Homes on Homes. We're looking at all the problems we found in basements. As the anchor of the house, it's essential any renovations touching the basement be done right the first time. Jim and Allison bought an old farmhouse built in the late 1800s. Not long after they moved in, Allison gave birth to triplets, one of them, Annie. She was diagnosed with cerebral palsy. By the time she was 8, her parents decided to put an addition on the house so that Annie could live on the main floor.
I was really happy with how things were going. Very happy, very excited that we were finally going to get the house for Annie that we wanted.
Good morning.
How are you?
How you doing today?
Good.
How you doing?
Good to
Nice to see you, Jim. Allison. Things started out well. Work on the addition continued at a steady pace. But when they moved inside to tie the new work into the old, that's where everything ground to a halt.
They weren't coming out very much, and when they did come out, it just didn't seem like there was a lot of work being done.
Eventually, the contractor stopped even showing up, and the job remained unfinished. When I got there, I found a whole lot of problems in the old basement. Whoa.
Yeah, that's the old crawl space.
You already have some earth falling down there. To do this addition, the contractor had to take off one end of the house, including the stone foundation wall, and then tie in with the new addition. What he didn't do was fix underneath. He drove in with a tractor, creating that path, and actually didn't hold it back. So over time, that dirt will all crumble, and the foundation wall from behind it will become very weak, and eventually it'll collapse in. I brought in my foundation guy, and we discovered even more problems.
You know what? This looks awful curious because I don't think they're allowed to do this. This house was built right on Earth. Is that what I'm seeing? Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Oh, give me a break. You tell me, Inspector, seen this?
Yeah, it looks like they've cut out a big portion of that wall there. Right?
Oh, this is not good.
This whole corner structure of this house has been undermined. Here, this would have been the original level of the stone rubble foundation right the way around. And what happens, like I was saying, what happens, it just keeps drying out.
Oh,
and it becomes more and, or it just becomes finer and finer and finer.
We've got a major issue here.
Everything just sitting on one stone.
This is making me sick. Oh, my God.
This is a total trouble, and a whole lot of it. So they put up two 2x8s, laminated as a beam across this area, and held it up with vertical 4x4s. Yeah, just put a piece of plastic around it so it's not touching concrete. It's not even anchored. You gotta love this. The foundation was just a disaster waiting to happen. When I explained the situation to Jim and Allison, they were floored. You see this here?
Yeah.
This is your old foundation. So as they came in, this is the new guy, as he came in and dug this trench, he's now compromised the structure here. Not to mention here, the whole thing.
I'm shocked by actually seeing what was in that hole. Because actually, when you look at it, you can see that the house isn't supported very well.
You see the outside foundation there?
Oh, yeah.
This will continue to fall. We have to pour and support all this so it doesn't fall in. This is extremely dangerous, right here. Let's go in here.
I'm shocked by how many people, like I said to Mike, have been through the house and have never said anything to us. Like, not one mention that perhaps you should fix this.
Right now, these floor joists are being held by nothing. This is, again, your major weight load. The only thing that is holding this side of the house is this small 4x4 that runs across as your top plate of the foundation wall.
Nobody said anything. I find that mind-boggling.
Can we take our cinder block right up to this point? Mm-hmm. Or even up maybe one more?
Yep.
And then pour concrete on top of this?
Yep.
Drive it in?
Mm-hmm.
Bring it over to that wall?
Yep. Actually, that would make it very, very strong. You have two 90-degree corners there, Mike. This outside corner and that inside corner. I think we get all of this lowered down to about here, Mike. Like I said, about 30 inches from the bottom of this joist.
So we should get an assembly line and just start
That's
digging?
what we'll do, yep.
Approximately 2,500 pails of dirt later, the blocks were laid and the benching system looked great.
This is perfect. Just perfect.
Kind of excited about it myself. We're gonna have some nice space down here that we can use.
I'm really impressed.
Beautiful.
Take one thing off our plate is fantastic. I'm telling you, it's fantastic not to have to, worry at night, how are we going to get all this stuff done that needs to be done? And why wasn't it done in the first place? Thanks, Mike.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Thank you.
I just hope you feel better. You don't worry about anything anymore, okay? And if you need anything, call me. Imagine, a year after Lisa and Simon's basement reno began, it wasn't even close to done. They had already paid the contractor over $25,000, and to add to the stress, now there was a baby on the way.
1 year to build, an hour to take down. We want to be able to get on with our lives and live normally.
Welcome back to the best of Homes on Homes and the best of the worst basement renos. Everyone's got a wish list for the basement, a pool table, a sauna, a better design, but the most common reason is to add a room for a growing family. Simon and Lisa planned way ahead. We're gonna have a baby down the road. Let's finish the basement. Have everything done when the baby comes. It's a real windy day today.
We were at the home show. We came across this company. They seemed to have all the right credentials. They were very good at talking the job up and what they'd done, and they'd been in the business a long time.
The local home show is where a lot of people go to shop for a contractor. And it's really hard not to resist a big company who makes big promises and says what every homeowner wants to hear. Hello, Simon.
Come on
Lisa,
in.
a pleasure to meet you.
They said 4 to 6 weeks was what it was going to take to do the project, and that they would start approximately mid-May.
A year later, from starting the job, what do we have done? We have rough-in, carpentry, studded walls. We have electrical, rough-in. We have plumbing, rough-in. No finished basement, baby on the way. Okay, let's take a walk around. How much have you paid this contractor so far?
$27,000 plus.
Here they are, a year. A year, imagine that. Hiring someone, giving them $28,000, and all you've got is crap that's not finished. Let's take a real good look at this. Here's the bathroom. We don't do this. This is our ventilation. They've cut into the stud like this. At least they put up a plate, but I hate that because it's not the proper plate. And that's so nobody can pierce that with a screw. Although a drywall screw will pierce it. It's supposed to let you know there's something there, right? But because they cut the studding like that, there's not a lot within that to be strong. Everything needs to be nailing edges, right? So it's all structures tied in. We wonder why all our corners crack. It's because of slop work just like this. We're venting, we now go up, we go over, and we come back down. You can't do that. What the hell is this? We have bulkheads, let's run it through the bulkhead, let's bring it back in, let's tie it down in low. It's all the things I see. Why are my pipes banging? They're not secured, right? They're not properly secured at all. Electrical, look at this, I just saw this. We have a junction point here. They were gonna hide this, because you're gonna drywall this, right? The framing is completely driving me nuts. See the corner there? We're gonna fix that with corner bead? Drywall screws. This is not at all good enough to hold your drywall. I didn't even pull hard on that. Bit by bit, we're gonna see problem after problem arising here. There's one really good point here. They didn't go any further.
And we're worried about the future in terms of our baby and the safety. We want to make sure that the house is ready to be lived in, and then it's okay for her.
For me, it's simple. I'm gonna take it all down, I'm gonna investigate, I'm gonna put it back together, I'm gonna make it right. Clean it up, gonna pull the studs down. We're not gonna wreck the place. Let's cut them out, drill them out, do whatever we do, see if we can reuse them.
No nails at all in this one.
These are the things that drive me nuts. We got a nice wire hanging from the box. It's live. Where does that go? Let's look up in here. Be very careful because everything is live. It's right there. Shut the breaker off. Safety. See this? Copper does not touch steel. Why? Copper and steel do not get along. It's also grounding the house, which now grounds that beam. Everything they did was either wrong, poorly done, or just downright dangerous. And if you open up a wall like the contractor to put in a steel beam, you need to have it approved. Since there's no way I'm trusting any of this guy's work, I called in an engineer to check it out. We did a test hole at this location to determine what type of footing is under this post. He did not like it, so he said, it's got to be done again. So surprised, but it's not a surprise. Did we find anything right in here? No. Did we find lots wrong? Yes. Start studying here. I want you to be at least 1.5 inches, okay? So get your bottom plate in, get your top plate in, stand in your studs, and don't tag them in until you're level. While we were working on that footing, it started to rain, and we discovered a leak in the foundation. There's no way we were going to finish that basement without confirming where the water was coming from. Where do you think the water's? Well, we see a crack right here. That could be one little minor source, not major.
There's another little crack that we found right in this area here as well.
Okay, starting here.
Yeah.
Works its way down. It's obvious because this is where the old pipes came in the wall. Through the mortar, continues, because once it starts cracking on the foundation wall, it usually doesn't stop. We can see it running down, right down at the bottom.
We're gonna pull them both right out of the wall anyways and repair the hole that they put through the wall with these.
If you have a foundation leak or a crack, the only way to fix it properly, honestly, is from the outside. Just think about the work and the cost to tear apart a new, renovated basement because the foundation started to leak again. This is a big company that claims to be professional, that took a year to the point where she's almost having the baby. That's why we're here. That's why we're working day and night to get it done, cleaned up before the baby comes in. After you.
Oh, wow.
As you can tell, we fixed up here and painted the walls.
Wow. This looks amazing.
Wow, you just started. I feel good.
Wow.
This is brilliant.
Yeah, this is stunning.
Let's start over here. You know, last time I brought you in, we saw a lot of problems. Okay, we did a few things like moving, broke a whole lot of concrete in the floor, rerouted all your drainage.
You expect, to be honest and have someone tell you what's expected and to have that follow through. And then when that doesn't happen, it kind of destroys any kind of trust you have in others. Even though they're well-intentioned, you look at things a lot differently.
After you.
Oh, wow. This is great.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
I thought it was important to turn your bathroom where the window is. Right. It just kind of makes sense to me. So we frosted your windows. You see that? Which means now you can go in there and have a shower.
We would be in a real mess, and I don't know if we could get out of the hole we were in without Mike. It was chaotic, and we're very lucky, very happy.
Yeah. Basements can seem like a place where you can get a lot by spending a little. That couldn't be further from the truth. I've always said, if you want to make it right, spend your money right. You'll end up in a much better place financially and emotionally. And hey, you'll have a nice basement. Did a great job.
You too.
Thanks. Great job.
Thanks, buddy.
Great job. Did you cut your hand?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's a team, you know that? It's the team.
For more information about this show, please visit hgtv.ca.